Excuse me, did you happen to see what—
You mean the village keepers? Oh, let me think. When I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road.
Okay.
Anything else?
The scholars that have gone missing.
Those eyes. Those...
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them, but honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange.
Do you also think Grandpa and the other—
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that... He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Embrace a wonderful new life.
Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently?
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. The last time I saw him, he was pacing out by the road as usual. And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about—
Oh, thank you.
It was nothing. Hey, you're looking for him, right?
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, once you found him, come by. I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned—
Wow, what a nice guy. Okay.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Let's head over there.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Grandma, is King Deshret really gonna come back from the dead?
Listen, see if you can make out what the—
Have you heard? The mighty King Deshret, the sovereign of our faith, will soon
Yes, of course I have. King Deshret is the one and only true ruler of this land. Still, you say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's—
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of King Deshret's civilization in Egypt. Isn't it a sign of King Deshret's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me.
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense.
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where—
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah. Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at it.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match for the—
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about King
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear, and that King Deshret will—
Hey, go on.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. Delavar also said that once King Deshret returns to our side, It's only a matter of time before we conquer the land.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more.
Got it! At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking. But then, please don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty.
The people here really like King Deshret, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around.
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you.
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not.
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from... So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to... Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this.
Yes, got it.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places. Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there. Just follow. Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. Oh, this is where Grandpa...
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Please, but are you okay? Are you getting dizzy?
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell.
So, you know Tainari?
Huh? You know him too? Are you two friends?
Yes. Now that I concentrate...
Wait, surely Tainari didn't...
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest. From...
What are you looking for, Simon?
Here it is. Take a look right here.
Paimon?
Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, from the size and shape, they belong to an adult male. The scent is quite faint, but still extant.
But who would come looking for Grandpa?
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent? Hey, what's wrong with liking good food?
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since the smell even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their...
No.
So, someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Still, are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do?
It's highly likely.
Please, you have to save my grandpa. Grandpa's never done any...
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We...
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we...
Right. The darker fabric.
We're back, Candace! We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back. Sounds like every...
Oh, Dia's here too!
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
Alhaitham didn't go with you?
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you.
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a...
The resurrection of King Deshret? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. Not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the... It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern.
If Paimon remembers correctly...
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Enger, the wide-eyed These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in King Deshret. Way they see it, King Deshret's resurrection is their only... Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert.
Tia! You're amazing!
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a...
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skill. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be Good, then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebat with me, and we'll try our best to...
All right! Sounds like a plan! Well, here we are again!
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel.
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorm? It was only after I grew up that I realized. The wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the... Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are we're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The geniuses like Sataria are one in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try.
That's terrible.
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Dia.
No, not at all. This place just... Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep, we gotta catch.
Shh! Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find... Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean, you don't see anyone?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a...
Zaki. Finally.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello. I'm Zaki.
We've had drinks together a few times. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they?
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the...
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabbar?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested.
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that...
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like...
Yes, how considerate of you.
Are we there yet?
Yep, this is...
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on.
Oh no! It's an ambush!
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on... Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look for the
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind.
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are?
So you and Delavar have been partners...
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of... But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're...
Delavar. And Enger, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors...
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand why King Deshret is greater...
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping...
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's...
Enough talking! Get him!
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Following orders.
A new
Propagation!
Freeze!
right up. Yeah! Yeah! Now disappear!
Impossible!
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills. And of course, you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a... Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that that so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. That's what you thought, right?
You lied in the village because you
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought... Okay, that should be all.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru Village?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious...
Oh, but instead of catching them right...
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real...
Oh, you mean the funny name she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house?
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first. That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to.
Wait, so he's a radical...
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some...
Wow! What a genius idea! What?
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from...
So, that thing you were saying before...
About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora. And that anyone's a friend as long as there's a profit.
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people, unless they were
I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in King Deshret.
But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here. All right.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so you can too. She's been guarding Aru Village for quite some time now. If anyone is
While I'm questioning them, why don't you pass some time?
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live. Right on time. Well, no.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well.
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from...
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty...
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogations.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more...
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, where... Whoa, you look furious.
Do I?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves. Yet you do not hesitate to place the lot. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the village keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here to my village, and you treat my people...
Mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may all be desert dwellers, but there's one thing that I understand better than you. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be a war would only cause us to lose all that we have.
We understand. I'll tell you everything I know, please, just...
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to...
They're called village keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret...
Yes, sorry! It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread the word about King Deshret's resurrection, and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll... I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then...
Wait, I'm telling the truth! We don't know anything! He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery... You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself King.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay.
If my suspicions are correct, this... Some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused. It strikes me now that this secret...
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take...
Not the academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. Regardless, Our top priority now is...
You're right. Isak is still waiting for...
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything else.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready. Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am...
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to... Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some...
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided...
Al-Haytham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you...
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that,
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the village...
You mean, some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, the reason being, to someone who only...
Those eyes, those fears...
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and...
Right. You were asking about the...
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the...
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake.
Then, why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this...
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, As we discussed earlier, I've brought...
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but...
Huh? What do you mean?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you, do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to... Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of it, but even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for... We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to blood. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear, and then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange...
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from... It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often. And when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus...
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that...
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's go!
Step right up.
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Let's get this show on the road. Now disappear.
Spring forth! Propagate! Don't get frostbite. Cool it.
A round of applause.
Oh, so sorry. Dodge this. Germinate! Propagate!
flying bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of... He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look.
Hey, I'll hate them.
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then... I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is...
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey! Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knew... And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated. Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought. There's a hidden...
Wow. It's like they tucked another hut. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
And voila! Propagate! Let's get this show on the road!
This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this! Cool it!
such a brute. Let's spark things up a little.
Scatter! Propagate! Now disappear! Scatter! Propagate! Scatter! Propagate!
That's close enough. Where do you think you're going?
Spring forth! A round of applause! Step right up! Scatter!
Look! There's someone over there! Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without...
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps... There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that...
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Now that you mention it, they're acting—
Correct. The Academia is behind all. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in, as well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends. This scheme has one further advantage. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret, and the notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become— An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone if you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain—
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such—
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's—
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's— However, I can't help but wonder. The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this—
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share them. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects?
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order— This matter needs to be corrected.
Wait! Didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That—
Hyman's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but—
Though I must say, uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to— He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru village.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's...
So, at one point in time,
Yep, pretty much!
their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant and knowledge has been yet. They fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew.
Yeah, why?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my...
So what you're saying is... Sino's the... Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sense. If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a every so often comes on Yagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activity.
You're saying that the academia entered my information, but what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough.
The Akasha is capable of The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think. However...
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily... Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trust...
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to get...
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after...
Oh, so that's how it is! But if the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After up!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too?
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be...
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember, Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though. So, where do we go from here?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that be...
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Look.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are devices. Let's split up and search the area. Chances...
Is this what we're searching for? Look.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're...
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room.
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do.
I knew it.
Dia? Why would you? Dia!
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? What?
Well, look who's here.
This complicates...
You've betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamat. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King...
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone.
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret...
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of...
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon, with these scholars in our custody, will stomp the academia's force.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the... If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia, but...
They look more like pawns of the academia to me. Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all on...
It's impossible to communicate with some... Perhaps we...
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. But I could be persuaded to take their places. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their...
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the...
Precisely. Any wise person would
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars. Perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces.
You are the scribe. What do you have?
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the academia. Why must all knowledge seek...
You academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just...
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the...
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with... Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the academia, you...
An arm from the flame mane. What if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here, then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make...
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman,
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if—
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're—
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more with they. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll—
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be—
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself? Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and—
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood?
Fine.
They got here before.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held every—
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. You brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a 1-for-1 exchange. So, let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archons...
You stay right there!
Playmate! What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here?
coward. Why are your hands shaking?
Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Paimon's dead.
This day's going just great.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected it. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may... The dendro are gone.
Grandpa? Grandpa?
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, the symbols on the gate belonged to King Deshret's civilization. This structure, it could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King!
What's he doing here? And his men?
They must have fallen down here with us. Most of them seem in really bad shape, except for...
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look and
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from... 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with...
Rahman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of...
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked...
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Rahman.
Huh?
Do you see another Rahman?
Are you mocking me? What do you mean?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left open...
Whatever you say. It's not like I have...
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic...
It does seem kind of strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this...
Propagate! A round of applause!
It's a sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
It's getting brighter! Oh, it looks so beautiful!
Wait. What's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
These are King Deshret.
They left something behind.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient King Deshret.
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The element, the scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from King Deshret's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit...
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight
to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former
But this doesn't make any sense.
Was that the former Dendro Arc?
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt King Deshret's technique. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of the surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. King Deshret's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, we saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my... How could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe?
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell my Aramites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
I should probably go. Can't just...
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything, but please, give me some time. After everything that's happened...
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where...
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share...
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy...
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's...
That must have been rough, but he...
Raman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice... Sino, we're leaving!
Stop yelling.
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers.
I guess all I can say now is... thanks for agreeing to help.
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree that we share a common cause now.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino...
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done...
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise...
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently.
They, wanted to extract...
Don't play dumb. You know what They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain...
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have... The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only...
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia...
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the... Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine...
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine...
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that... If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. You know...
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise... It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence...
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a... When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Rahman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village.
Sure, as you wish.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look out.
The atmosphere is so... Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some...
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh! Paimon's so coming with you!
Do you have any plans, traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I...
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be in even...
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every...
So, everyone.
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yeah!